There's a version of being stressed that makes sense, deadline, conflict, something real to respond to. And then there's the version where nothing happened, but your body is treating the day like an emergency anyway. The low hum of tension that doesn't go away, the sleep that doesn't fully restore, the way a mild inconvenience lands like a crisis. That second version isn't a character flaw, it's a stress circuit that's been running too long without a reset. And the circuit has a name. It's called the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals. 3 structures, one conversation that runs every time your body reads threat, understanding how the conversation works and crucially how it's supposed to end gives you a completely different way of thinking about stress. Here's how it unfolds. The hypothalamus is a small region deep in the brain. It's always reading incoming information. Your blood chemistry, your sleep state, your sense of safety, what your eyes and ears are picking up, and deciding whether to sound the alarm. When it decides the answer is yes, it releases a chemical signal called CRH, corticotropin-releasing hormone, which means, for you, your brain just texted the next stop down the line. The text goes to the pituitary gland, which sits just below the hypothalamus, about the size of a pea, hanging by a small stalk. The pituitary receives the CRH signal and in response releases its own hormone, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Smaller word for it. The pituitary just forwarded the message to your adrenals. The adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, one on each side. When they receive ACTH, they release cortisol. Cortisol is the main stress hormone, and it's genuinely important. It raises your blood sugar so your muscles have fuel. It sharpens attention. It suppresses immune activity temporarily so your body can prioritize the emergency. It's not a villain. It's a very well-designed tool for short-term threat response. Here's where the system is supposed to do something elegant. Cortisol feeds back to both the hypothalamus and the pituitary and tells them, message received, you can stand down. The loop closes. Cortisol levels drop, the alarm resets, and your body returns to baseline. The technical name for this is negative feedback. The hormone that the stress response produces is also the off switch. The problem, and this is the part that explains so much, is that chronic stress wears out the feedback. The hypothalamus keeps detecting threat, the cortisol keeps being released, and over time the receptors that are supposed to catch the stand down signal become less sensitive, which means the feedback loop weakens. The off switch gets sticky. Cortisol stays elevated when it shouldn't, and you feel the results: wired but tired, inflamed, anxious for no clear reason, sleep that doesn't restore. That's not a broken system. That's a system doing exactly what it was built to do in conditions it was never designed to face long term. This is a framework episode. There's no single practice that rewires the HPA axis in 30 seconds. What you can do right now is understand that almost everything that supports nervous system regulation, sleep, rhythmic movement, temperature, social safety, breath, works at least partly by reducing the hypothalamus's threat read and giving the feedback loop room to close. Every intervention that actually works touches this circuit somewhere. In the last episode, we walked through the 5 branches of the vagus nerve. The vagus and the HPA axis are related but distinct. The vagus is neural, fast, millisecond to millisecond. The HPA axis is hormonal, slower, operating over minutes and hours. Both are running simultaneously. Both need the same basic condition to function well: a nervous system that believes on some level that the immediate environment is survivable. The next episode is about where you sit on the polyvagal ladder right now: ventral, sympathetic, or dorsal. That map is the fastest way to apply everything you just learned here. If you're finding the anatomy useful, subscribe. Each episode builds on the last, and the picture gets clearer as you go.